First contact. Dr. Elena Reeves squinted through her telescope, her eyes straining against the inky blackness of the night sky. The remote observatory, perched high in the Chilean Andes, offered an unparalleled view of the cosmos. But tonight, something was different. A faint, pulsing light caught her attention, moving in a pattern unlike any celestial body she'd ever observed. "That's impossible," she muttered, adjusting the filters and magnification. The object seemed to be descending, growing larger with each passing moment. Elena's heart raced as she realized she might be witnessing something extraordinary, perhaps even first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. As if in response to her thoughts, a brilliant flash illuminated the valley below. Elena gasped, stumbling back from the telescope. She fumbled for her phone, fingers trembling as she dialed her research partner. "Jack, you're not going to believe this," she breathed as soon as he answered. I think we've got a visitor." Before Jack could respond, a low hum filled the air. The observatory's lights flickered and died, plunging Elena into darkness. She moved cautiously towards the window, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. In the distance, a soft blue glow emanated from the forest at the base of the mountain. Against her better judgment, Elena grabbed her emergency pack and headed for her jeep. The drive down the winding mountain road was treacherous, but the pull of discovery was too strong to resist. As she neared the source of the glow, the jeep's engine sputtered and died. Elena continued on foot, her heart pounding in her ears. The forest seemed to part before her, revealing a small clearing. In the center stood a sleek, silvery object about the size of a small car. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, reflecting the moonlight in mesmerizing patterns. Elena approached cautiously, her scientific mind racing to explain what she was seeing. Suddenly, a seam appeared in the craft's smooth exterior. Elena froze, holding her breath as the opening widened. A figure emerged, tall and slender, with skin that shimmered like opal. Its large, almond-shaped eyes fixed on Elena, filled with an intelligence that sent shivers down her spine. The alien, for Elena was now certain that's what it was, raised a hand in what seemed to be a gesture of peace. To her amazement, she felt a presence in her mind, gentle but unmistakable. "Do not be afraid," a voice echoed in her thoughts. "I mean you no harm." Elena struggled to find her voice. What are you?" she managed to ask. The alien's mouth didn't move, but the response came clearly in Elena's mind. "I am Zaran, an explorer from a world you call Kepler 186f. I have traveled far to study your species." Elena's scientific training kicked in, overriding her shock. "But that's over 500 light-years away. How is this possible?" A sound like chimes filled the air. Elena realized the alien was laughing. "Your understanding of physics is limited. There is much we could teach you." As they continued to communicate, Elena found herself captivated not just by Zaran's advanced knowledge, but by their grace and beauty. The alien's features were ethereal, neither male nor female by human standards, yet striking in their symmetry and complexity. Hours passed like minutes as Zaran shared glimpses of their civilization's history and technological achievements. Elena's mind reeled with the implications. Faster-than-light travel, clean energy sources that could revolutionize Earth's industries, medical advancements that could cure countless diseases. The potential was staggering. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the mountains, Zaran turned to their ship. "I must go for now," the alien communicated, "but I would like to continue our exchange of knowledge." Elena nodded eagerly. "Of course. When will you return?" Zaran's large eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. "Sooner than you might think, Elena Reeves. Your world intrigues me, as do you." With a final, lingering look, Zaran entered the craft. The silvery surface rippled, sealing seamlessly. The ship rose silently, then vanished in a flash of blue light, leaving Elena alone in the clearing. She stood there for a long moment, her mind struggling to process everything that had happened. Part of her wondered if it had all been a vivid dream. But as she turned to head back to her jeep, Elena noticed something clutched in her hand. A small, iridescent disk that pulsed with a faint inner light. Proof that the encounter had been real. As she drove back up to the observatory, Elena's mind raced with possibilities. She knew she should report her discovery, share it with the scientific community and perhaps even government officials. But something held her back. The connection she'd felt with Zoran, the promise of future meetings, it felt too personal, too precious to share just yet. For now, Elena decided she would keep this extraordinary encounter to herself. She had a feeling it was only the beginning of something far greater than she could imagine. Over the next few weeks, Elena threw herself into her work with renewed passion. By day, she analyzed data from the observatory's various instruments, searching for any anomalies that might indicate Zoran's return. By night, she pored over the strange disks the alien had left behind, trying to decipher its purpose and technology. Her colleagues noticed the change in her demeanor, the dark circles under her eyes, the distracted responses to their questions. They attributed it to the intensity of their current research project, never suspecting the true reason for Elena's preoccupation. It was nearly a month after their first encounter when Elena's patience was finally rewarded. As she was locking up the observatory late one night, a familiar humming filled the air. Her heart leaped as she turned to see Zoran's ship descending gracefully onto the facility's helipad. The alien emerged, their opalescent skin gleaming in the moonlight. "Elena," Zoran's voice echoed in her mind, warm with affection. "I hope I have not kept you waiting too long." Elena smiled, surprised by how natural it felt to be in Zoran's presence again. "Not at all. I'm just glad you came back." As they talked, walking along the mountain paths, Elena found herself opening up to Zoran in ways she never had with another person. She shared her passion for unraveling the mysteries of the universe, her frustrations with the limitations of current human technology, and her dreams of making discoveries that would change the world. Zoran listened with rapt attention, occasionally offering insights that left Elena's mind reeling. The alien's vast knowledge was tempered by a genuine curiosity about human perspectives and experiences. As the nights passed, their meetings became more frequent. Elena found herself falling deeper under Zoran's spell, captivated by the alien's intelligence, grace, and the promise of wonders beyond her wildest imagination. It was during one of these moonlit encounters that their relationship took an unexpected turn. As they stood gazing at the star-filled sky, Zoran turned to Elena, their large eyes filled with an emotion she couldn't quite define. "Elena," the alien's voice whispered in her mind, "I find myself experiencing sensations I did not anticipate when I began this mission. Your species intrigues me on a level I cannot fully explain." Elena's breath caught in her throat. "What are you saying, Zoran?" The alien moved closer, raising a hand to gently caress Elena's cheek. The touch sent shivers through her body. "I believe," Zoran communicated, "that I am developing feelings for you. Romantic feelings, as your people would call them. Is this acceptable to you?" For a moment, Elena's scientific mind rebelled against the idea. The implications of a human-alien relationship were staggering, possibly dangerous. But as she looked into Zoran's eyes, logic faded away. She found herself nodding, her own hand reaching up to touch the alien's shimmering skin. "Yes," she whispered, "it's more than acceptable." As their lips met in a kiss that defied the laws of nature and probability, Elena knew her life would never be the same. She was stepping into a new frontier, one that went beyond mere scientific discovery. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them, with Zoran by her side. Little did Elena know that this moment of bliss was just the beginning of a journey that would test her in ways she could never have imagined. The secrets Zoran carried, the true nature of their mission on Earth, and the consequences of their union would soon reshape not just their lives, but the fate of two worlds. As the first part of our story draws to a close, Elena and Zoran's newfound love hangs suspended in a moment of perfect happiness. But the universe rarely allows such moments to last. especially when the future of entire civilizations hangs in the balance. Their journey together has only just begun, and the greatest challenges and revelations still lie ahead. Hidden truths. The warm glow of the alien device bathed Elena's face in an eerie blue light as she hunched over her makeshift workbench. Months had passed since her first encounter with Zaran, and their relationship had blossomed into something beautiful and bizarre. But tonight, something was different. The iridescent disc Zaran had given her was pulsing with an urgency she'd never seen before. "What are you trying to tell me?" Elena muttered, her fingers tracing the strange symbols etched into its surface. As if in response, the disc suddenly projected a holographic star map into the air. Elena gasped, recognizing our solar system, but something was wrong. A massive object, previously hidden, now loomed at the edge of the projection. "My God," she whispered, "it's a planet-sized ship." The laboratory door burst open, making Elena jump. Zaran stood there, their opalescent skin flickering with patterns of distress. "You weren't supposed to see that," Zaran's voice echoed in her mind, tinged with a mixture of fear and regret. Elena's heart raced. "What's going on, Zaran? What aren't you telling me?" The alien moved closer, their large eyes filled with conflicting emotions. "Elena, my love, I never meant to deceive you. But there are truths I've been hiding, truths that could change everything." As Zaran began to explain, Elena felt her world tilting on its axis. The alien's mission wasn't just scientific exploration, it was reconnaissance for a potential invasion. "Your world is in danger," Zaran continued, "not from us, but from a threat so vast it could consume your entire galaxy. My people, we're refugees, searching for a new home." Elena's mind reeled. "But Earth, there are billions of people here." Zaran's form shimmered with sadness. "We've searched for centuries. Your world is the only one that could sustain us. The ship you saw, it carries the last of my species." Anger and betrayal warred with love in Elena's heart. "So what was I? Just part of your mission?" "No." Zaran's mental voice was anguished. "Meeting you changed everything. I've come to love not just you, but humanity. That's why I'm risking everything to warn you." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Elena rushed to the window, her blood running cold at the sight of black helicopters descending. "They found us," Zaran said grimly. "My people grow impatient. They've decided to take Earth by force." Elena's scientific mind kicked into overdrive, formulating plans even as her heart ached. "We have to stop them, and I think I know how." As the sound of booted feet echoed in the hallway, Elena grabbed the alien device and Zaran's hand. "Do you trust me?" she asked. Zaran nodded, their eyes locked on hers. "With my life." Elena smiled sadly. "Good, because what we're about to do could either save two worlds or doom them both." With a crash, the laboratory door flew open. Armed men in dark suits poured in, weapons raised. But where they expected to find an alien and a scientist, they found only an empty room and a fading shimmer of blue light. Miles above the Earth, on the bridge of the massive alien ship, alarms blared as two unexpected visitors materialized. Elena stumbled, disoriented from the teleportation, while Zaran steadied her. "Intruders." A voice boomed in Elena's mind, so powerful it made her knees buckle. She looked up to see a being similar to Zaran, but larger and radiating an aura of authority. "High Commander," Zaran addressed the imposing figure. "I can explain." "Silence, traitor." The commander's mental voice lashed out. "You dare bring a human here? You have compromised everything." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite her fear. "I'm Dr. Elena Rees, and I'm here to negotiate on behalf of Earth." A ripple of surprise passed through the assembled aliens. The commander's large eyes narrowed. "Negotiate? Your primitive species has nothing to offer us." "That's where you're wrong," Elena countered. She held up the alien device, which now glowed with an intense light. This contains data on a propulsion system that could take you beyond our galaxy, to worlds uninhabited and perfect for colonization. The commander's form shimmered with interest. How did you? I'm a quick study, Elena said with a small smile, and I had an excellent teacher. She glanced at Zaran, whose eyes shone with pride and love. But, Elena continued, her voice hardening, if you make any move against Earth, I'll destroy this data and any chance you have of finding a new home. The tension on the bridge was palpable. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. After what felt like an eternity, the commander's form relaxed slightly. You are either very brave or very foolish, Dr. Reeves, the alien mused. Perhaps both, but you have my attention. Let us negotiate. As Elena began to outline her proposal, an exchange of knowledge that would benefit both species without the need for conquest, she felt Zaran's hand slip into hers. Whatever the outcome, they would face it together. Back on Earth, governments scrambled to make sense of the massive object that had suddenly appeared in orbit. News channels buzzed with speculation and fear. But in a secret facility deep underground, a group of scientists huddled around a screen, watching in awe as an impossibly advanced ship began to move away from Earth. One of them, a man named Dr. Jack Harper, smiled to himself. Good luck, Elena, he whispered. I hope you know what you're doing. As the alien ship vanished into the depths of space, leaving a stunned planet in its wake, the true impact of Elena and Zoran's actions was yet to be felt. They had averted one crisis, but the challenges ahead, bridging two vastly different cultures, keeping the truth from a panicked populace, and navigating their own unprecedented relationship, were only beginning. The stars beckoned, full of both promise and peril, and somewhere out there, a human scientist and her alien love were charting a course into the unknown, carrying the hopes of two worlds with them. A child of two worlds. The secret underground facility buzzed with activity as Dr. Jack Harper paced nervously outside the heavily guarded medical bay. It had been 2 years since Elena and Zoran's dramatic departure, and the world had changed in ways few could have imagined. Suddenly, the doors burst open. A frazzled nurse emerged, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and disbelief. Dr. Harper, you need to see this. Jack rushed inside, his heart pounding. There, on a bed surrounded by bewildered medical staff, lay Elena. She looked exhausted but radiant, cradling a small bundle in her arms. Beside her stood Zaran, their opalescent skin shimmering with patterns of joy and anxiety. Jack, Elena said softly, meet Aurora, the first human-alien hybrid in known history. Jack approached cautiously, peering at the infant. Aurora's skin had a subtle pearlescent sheen, and her eyes, when they fluttered open, were an impossible swirling galaxy of colors. She's beautiful, Jack breathed. But how is this even possible? Zaran's mental voice echoed in the room, tinged with pride and worry. Our species are more compatible than we ever imagined, but Aurora's existence will change everything. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the facility. Jack rushed to a nearby console, his face paling as he read the incoming reports. We've got multiple breaches, he said grimly. Someone leaked information about Aurora. Every government and shadow organization on the planet is trying to get their hands on her. Elena clutched Aurora tighter, her eyes meeting Zaran's. We knew this might happen. That's why we prepared. Zaran nodded, producing a small pulsing device. This will activate a distress beacon. My people will come, but it will take time. Jack looked between them, realization dawning. You're leaving again, but the world needs you, needs Aurora. Elena stood, wincing slightly. The world isn't ready, Jack. We need to protect Aurora until she's old enough to choose her own path. Explosions rocked the facility. Jack made a split-second decision. Go, I'll hold them off as long as I can. With tearful goodbyes, Elena and Zaran activated their teleportation device. In a flash of blue light, the small family vanished, leaving Jack to face the oncoming storm. Years passed. Rumors and conspiracy theories about the star child spread across the internet like wildfire. Blurry photos and shaky video clips of a young girl with shimmering skin and impossible eyes became the subject of intense debate and government denials. In a remote cabin deep in the Canadian wilderness, Aurora celebrated her 10th birthday. Her growth had been accelerated, her mind developing at an astonishing rate. She looked closer to 15, her ethereal beauty a blend of both her parents. "Mom, Dad," Aurora called out, her voice carrying a subtle harmonic quality. "Come quick, I think I figured it out." Elena and Zarin rushed to Aurora's makeshift lab, a mix of Earth technology and alien devices. On a holographic display hovered a complex molecular structure. "It's a cure," Aurora explained excitedly, "for the radiation poisoning affecting Dad's people, and it could work for a dozen human diseases too." Elena's eyes widened. "Aurora, this is incredible. But how did you?" She was cut off by a deafening roar. The cabin's roof splintered as a massive black helicopter appeared overhead, rappel lines dropping to disgorge heavily armed soldiers. "Surrender the child," a voice boomed through a loudspeaker. "You can't run any longer." Zarin's form flickered with protective rage. "Elena, take Aurora and go. I'll hold them off." "No," Aurora cried. "I won't leave you." As the soldiers breached the cabin, Aurora's eyes began to glow. The air around her crackled with energy. Elena and Zarin watched in awe as their daughter rose into the air, her hands outstretched. "Still a P." Aurora's voice echoed with otherworldly power. The soldiers froze in place, their weapons clattering to the ground. In that moment of stunned silence, a new sound filled the air. A deep, resonant hum that shook the earth. Elena and Zoran exchanged shocked glances. "It can't be," Zoran whispered. The clouds parted, revealing an enormous ship, but not the sleek vessel of Zoran's people. This craft was ancient, its surface etched with glyphs that pulsed with eldritch light. A beam of shimmering energy engulfed Aurora, lifting her towards the ship. She turned to her parents, her eyes filled with a wisdom beyond her years. "It's okay," she said softly. "I understand now. This is why I was born." As Aurora vanished into the ship, Elena clutched Zoran's hand. "What's happening?" Zoran's mental voice was filled with awe. "The precursors, the beings my people thought were just legends. They've come for Aurora." The ancient ship began to ascend, carrying humanity's greatest hope with it. But as it rose, Aurora's voice echoed in the minds of every person on Earth. "I am the bridge between worlds, and I will return when you are ready." In an instant, the ship vanished, leaving a stunned planet to grapple with the implications of what they'd witnessed. The soldiers, released from Aurora's hold, looked around in confusion. Elena and Zarin stood amid the ruins of their hidden life, facing an uncertain future. But as the dust settled, they realized Aurora had left something behind, her research, the key to healing both their peoples. As news of the event spread, the world held its collective breath. Humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, one shaped by the promise of a child born of two worlds and destined for something greater than anyone could have imagined. In underground labs and secret government facilities, scientists pored over Aurora's gift, unlocking secrets that would revolutionize medicine and technology. And in quiet moments, Elena and Zarin looked to the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, their daughter was fulfilling a destiny beyond their wildest dreams. The story of Aurora, the star child, became legend, and as humanity took its first tentative steps into a larger universe, they carried with them the hope that one day she would return to guide them into a future where the boundaries between worlds no longer existed. Echoes of destiny. 10 years had passed since Aurora's dramatic ascension. The world had changed dramatically, transformed by the technological leaps sparked by her parting gift. Gleaming cities powered by clean energy stretched towards the sky, while hospitals boasted cures for diseases once thought incurable. But all was not well. In a secret bunker beneath the ruins of Washington, D.C., Elena Rees stared at holographic displays showing scenes of chaos around the globe. Riots in the streets, strange weather patterns, and most worryingly, reports of people developing inexplicable abilities. "It's happening, isn't it?" Jack Harper's grizzled face appeared on a screen, lines of worry etched deep. Elena nodded grimly. "Aurora's DNA is rewriting human genetics on a global scale. We're evolving, but not everyone is happy about it." Zarin materialized beside her, their form flickering with anxiety. "My love, we have a bigger problem. The Precursor's ship has been detected entering the solar system." Before Elena could respond, alarms blared. A young soldier burst into the room, eyes wide with panic. "Dr. Reeves, you need to see this." They rushed to the surface, emerging into a world bathed in an otherworldly light. The sky churned with swirling, iridescent clouds, and there, descending from the heavens, was a sight that made Elena's heart stop. Aurora. But not as they remembered her. She stood 20 feet tall, her body a swirling mix of human and alien features, crackling with energy. Beside her floated beings of pure light, their forms constantly shifting. "People of Earth," Aurora's voice resonated in every mind on the planet. "The time of awakening is at hand." Suddenly, the ground began to shake. Fissures opened in the earth, releasing strange, glowing mists. All around the world, people collapsed, writhing as their bodies underwent rapid transformations. "What have you done?" Elena cried out, tears streaming down her face. Aurora's gaze fell upon her parents, her eyes pools of swirling galaxies. "I've given humanity the keys to its own evolution, but not everyone will survive the process." As chaos erupted around them, a new threat emerged. Military forces from around the world converged, determined to stop what they saw as an alien invasion. "Aurora, please." Zarin's mental voice was anguished. "This isn't the way." For a moment, something flickered in Aurora's cosmic eyes, a hint of the child she once was, but it was quickly replaced by cold determination. "I'm sorry," she said, raising her hand, "but this is necessary." A pulse of energy exploded outward, disabling all technology within its reach. Planes fell from the sky, power grids failed, and the world was plunged into darkness. In the ensuing chaos, Elena and Zarin found themselves separated, swept away by panicked crowds. As night fell, the transformed and untransformed alike huddled in fear, watching as Aurora and her precursor allies began reshaping the very fabric of reality around them. Days turned to weeks. Society teetered on the brink of collapse. Those who had survived the initial wave of changes found themselves grappling with newfound abilities: telepathy, telekinesis, and stranger powers beyond imagining. Elena, her own body now crackling with latent energy, led a ragtag group of survivors through the ruins of what was once New York City. Their goal: to find a way to reach Aurora, to reason with her before it was too late. But as they neared the massive reality-walking structure Aurora had created in Central Park, they were confronted by a familiar face. Zarin stood before them, but changed. Half of their body had become crystalline, pulsing with the same energy that surrounded Aurora. "Elena." Zarin's voice was a mixture of mental and verbal communication. "Our daughter has shown me the truth. This is the only way to save both our species." Elena's heart shattered. "Zarin, please. This isn't saving anyone. It's genocide." As tensions rose, a new sound cut through the air. A deep, resonant hum that shook the earth. From the sky descended another ship, but this one was familiar. The vessel of Zarin's people had returned. The ship's hull split open, revealing a being Elena had never thought to see again, the High Commander. "Enough," the commander's mental voice boomed. "Aurora, child of two worlds, you have gone too far. The precursors do not have the right to decide the fate of entire species." Aurora turned, her cosmic form dwarfing even the massive alien ship. "You dare challenge the will of the precursors?" What followed was a battle that would be seared into the memory of every survivor who witnessed it. Advanced alien technology clashed with the reality-warping powers of the precursors. The sky burned with impossible colors as the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. In the chaos, Elena saw her chance. With a strength she didn't know she possessed, she fought her way to Aurora's side. "Aurora," she cried out, her voice somehow cutting through the cosmic din. "Remember who you are. You're not just some cosmic force, you're our daughter." For a moment, the battle froze. Aurora turned, her swirling eyes meeting Elena's. And in that instant, a flicker of recognition passed between them. "Mom." Aurora's voice was suddenly small, confused. What have I done?" The precursor beings recoiled as if struck. Without Aurora's will driving them, their hold on reality began to slip. The High Commander seized the opportunity, unleashing a weapon that tore a hole in the fabric of space-time itself. As the precursors were sucked into the rift, Aurora's cosmic form began to crumble. Elena rushed forward, catching her daughter, now returned to her human size, in her arms. "I'm sorry," Aurora whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I thought I was saving everyone." Elena held her close, her own tears falling freely. "It's okay, sweetheart. We'll fix this, together." As the rift closed and the dust settled, the survivors emerged to find a world forever changed. The trials ahead would be immense, rebuilding society, integrating those with new abilities, and healing the scars left by Aurora's misguided attempt to force evolution. But as Elena stood with Aurora and a repentant Zaran, watching the sun rise over a transformed Earth, she felt something she hadn't in years: hope. The road ahead would be long and difficult, but they would face it as a family, bridging the gap between worlds and guiding humanity towards a future that balanced progress with compassion. As news of the events spread, the world held its breath, wondering what this new chapter in human history would bring. The story of Aurora, the star child who had nearly destroyed humanity in an attempt to save it, became a cautionary tale and a beacon of hope. And somewhere in the vast expanse of the cosmos, the precursors and other ancient races watched with renewed interest. Humanity had proven itself resilient in the face of cosmic forces. The true test of their worthiness to join the galactic community was just beginning. Quantum redemption. 5 years after the cosmic convergence, as the world now called Aurora's failed attempt at forced evolution, Earth was a changed planet. Gleaming cities of impossible architecture stretched towards the sky, powered by a fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology. But beneath the surface of this new utopia, tensions simmered. In a hidden laboratory deep beneath the Himalayas, Aurora, now a young woman with swirling, galaxy-like eyes, worked feverishly alongside her parents. Holographic displays flickered with equations beyond human comprehension. "We're close," Elena murmured, her own eyes glowing faintly with residual energy from the convergence. "The quantum entanglement is almost stable." Zaran, the crystalline form pulsing with anticipation, placed a hand on Aurora's shoulder. "Daughter, are you certain this is wise? The risks." "We don't have a choice," Aurora interrupted, her voice carrying harmonics that made the air vibrate. "The precursors will return. We need to be ready." Suddenly, alarms blared. Jack Harper's weathered face appeared on a screen, panic evident in his eyes. "We've got a problem. The anti-evolution extremists, they found us." Before they could react, the lab shook with explosions. Through the chaos, a familiar figure emerged, the High Commander of Zoran's people, flanked by both human and alien soldiers. "Traitors," the commander's mental voice boomed. "You would risk the fabric of reality itself." Aurora stepped forward, her form beginning to crackle with cosmic energy. "You don't understand. What we're doing here could save both our worlds." But as tensions rose and weapons were drawn, something unexpected happened. The quantum device they'd been working on started to pulse erratically. Reality itself seemed to waver. "No," Elena gasped. "It's unstable." In a blinding flash, Aurora, Elena, Zoran, the High Commander, and several others vanished, pulled into a swirling vortex of quantum energy. They tumbled through a kaleidoscope of alternate realities. A world where the precursors had succeeded, Earth transformed into a paradise of hybrid beings. A dystopian landscape where Aurora's powers had gone unchecked, the planet a wasteland of cosmic energy. A reality where first contact never happened, humanity still alone in the universe. With each shift, memories and identities blurred. Aurora found herself experiencing lives she'd never lived. A normal human girl, a full-blooded alien, a cosmic entity beyond comprehension. As they tumbled through the quantum foam, a startling truth emerged. These weren't just parallel universes, they were potential futures, pasts that could have been, all existing simultaneously in a vast, interconnected web. Finally, they crashed back into their own reality, but not in the hidden lab. They stood atop a massive floating platform above a transformed New York City, surrounded by a swirling quantum storm. The High Commander, his form now flickering between various alternate versions of himself, turned to Aurora with newfound understanding. You saw it too, didn't you? The threads that connect all realities. Aurora nodded, her eyes swirling with the knowledge of 1,000 lifetimes. We're all connected. Humans, aliens, even the precursors. Every choice, every possibility, woven into the fabric of the multiverse. But their revelation was cut short. The quantum storm intensified, threatening to tear their reality apart. The device, Elena shouted over the roar. It's still active, still pulling alternate realities into ours. Zoran's crystalline form pulsed with sudden inspiration. Aurora, your powers, you can stabilize it. Aurora hesitated, the weight of her past mistakes heavy on her shoulders. But what if I make things worse? What if I lose control again? In that moment of doubt, a new voice cut through the chaos, Jack Harper, who had somehow followed them through the quantum leap. Aurora, he called out, his voice filled with unwavering faith. You're not alone this time. We're all here with you. Trust yourself. With a deep breath, Aurora raised her hands. Cosmic energy flowed from her, intertwining with the quantum storm. As she worked to stabilize reality, visions flashed before everyone's eyes, glimpses of pasts, presents, and futures from across the multiverse. In that moment of cosmic awareness, understanding dawned. The precursors, the forced evolution, the conflicts between species, they were all part of a larger pattern, a cosmic dance of growth and change. As reality solidified around them, Aurora turned to the assembled group, humans, aliens, and hybrids alike. Her voice resonated with newfound purpose. We've been given a gift, she declared. A glimpse of the infinite possibilities that lie before us. It's time we stopped fighting over our differences and embraced them instead. The High Commander, forever changed by the experience, bowed his head. You speak wisdom beyond your years, Aurora. Perhaps it is time for a new approach. As the quantum storm dissipated, revealing a city in awe of the spectacle above them, Aurora raised her voice to address the world. People of Earth, of distant stars, and of realities we yet to encounter, we stand at a crossroads. The power to shape our destiny lies not in force, not in fear, but in understanding. We are all threads in the grand tapestry of existence. Let us weave a future worthy of the infinite possibilities before us. The speech, broadcast across the globe and to the stars beyond, sparked a revolution. The lines between human and alien began to blur as people embraced the idea of infinite potential within themselves. Universities sprang up dedicated to the study of quantum realities. Diplomats from Earth ventured into the cosmos, armed with the knowledge that all beings were connected on a fundamental level. Even the precursors, observing from the fringes of known space, found themselves reconsidering their approach to younger species. As for Aurora, Elena, and Zoran, they became the bridge between worlds, guiding humanity and their alien allies towards a future where the boundaries of reality itself were just another frontier to explore. The story of the quantum leap spread like wildfire across social media and beyond. Millions shared their own glimpses of alternate selves, sparking a global conversation about identity, possibility, and the interconnectedness of all things. As the sun set on this new age of quantum enlightenment, Aurora stood with her family, watching the glittering skyline of New York. The weight of infinite realities rested on her shoulders, but for the first time in years, she felt truly at peace. "What now?" Elena asked, squeezing her daughter's hand. Aurora smiled, her eyes reflecting the endless possibilities before them. "Now we explore. There are infinite worlds out there, infinite versions of ourselves to learn from. Our journey is just beginning." And as night fell on a planet transformed by cosmic truths, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes, no longer afraid of the unknown, but eager to embrace the infinite potential that lay within each and every one of them. The Cosmic Symphony. 20 years had passed since the quantum revelation. Earth had become a shining beacon of interstellar cooperation, a hub where beings from across the galaxy came to study the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. But as Aurora celebrated her 50th birthday, though she appeared no older than 30 due to her hybrid nature, a new crisis loomed on the horizon. In the heart of New Manhattan, a city that now floated serenely above the old New York, Aurora stood before the Cosmic Council, a gathering of leaders from 100 worlds. Her parents, Elena and Zoran, sat nearby, their forms shimmering with the energy of countless realities they'd explored. Distinguished members of the council, Aurora began, her voice resonating with harmonic overtones. "We face a threat unlike any we've encountered before. The walls between realities are collapsing." Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Aurora waved her hand, and a holographic display of the multiverse appeared, countless bubbles of reality, all pressing against each other, some beginning to merge and distort. "Our exploration and manipulation of quantum realities have had unintended consequences," she continued. "If we don't act soon, the entire multiverse could collapse into a singular, chaotic timeline." Suddenly, the chamber shook. Outside, the sky turned a violent shade of purple, cracks of golden light spreading across it like a shattered mirror. "It's happening faster than we predicted," Elena said, her eyes wide with fear. As panic began to spread, a new voice cut through the chaos, deep, resonant, and ancient. "Perhaps it is time for us to step in." The air shimmered, and 3 beings materialized in the center of the chamber. They were vaguely humanoid, but their bodies seemed to be made of pure starlight and cosmic energy. The precursors had returned. "You," Aurora breathed, a mix of awe and apprehension in her voice. The central precursor spoke, its voice echoing through both sound and thought. "We have watched your progress, children of the stars. You have grown beyond our wildest expectations. But now the very fabric of existence is at stake." Outside, the cracks in reality widened. Through them, glimpses of other worlds could be seen, some wondrous, others nightmarish. Citizens of New Manhattan took to the air in panic, their evolved bodies allowing them to fly away from the chaos. "What can we do?" Zoran asked, his crystalline form pulsing with anxiety. The precursors exchanged a look of ancient wisdom. "The multiverse requires balance, a cosmic reset, but one guided by beings who understand the value of every reality, every possibility." Understanding dawned on Aurora's face. "You want us to become the new guardians of the multiverse." The lead precursor nodded. "Your unique perspective, born of 2 worlds, experienced in many, makes you ideally suited for this task, but be warned, accepting this role means leaving behind everything you know." As the council chamber erupted into debate, Aurora turned to her parents. Tears shimmered in her galaxy-like eyes. "Mom, Dad, I don't know if I can do this alone." Elena and Zoran shared a look of deep understanding. "You won't have to," Elena said softly. "We're a family," Zoran added. Whatever cosmic destiny awaits, we face it together. The chamber fell silent as Aurora, Elena, and Zarin stepped forward. We accept, Aurora declared. What followed was a transformation beyond imagination. The precursors began to glow, their forms dissolving into pure energy. This cosmic essence flowed into Aurora and her parents, filling them with the knowledge and power of countless eons. As the transformation neared its completion, Aurora turned to address the Cosmic Council one last time. Her voice now carried the weight of galaxies. To all beings in all realities, fear not the change that comes. Embrace the infinite possibilities within you. For in the grand cosmic symphony, every note, every voice has value. With a final, blinding flash, Aurora, Elena, and Zarin vanished, ascending to a higher plane of existence. In their place stood three cosmic beings, their forms a swirling mix of stars, galaxies, and pure possibility. The cracks in reality began to heal. The chaos outside subsided, but the world, the universe, would never be the same. Epilogue. Centuries passed. The story of Aurora and her family became legend, told and retold across countless worlds. Earth continued to thrive as a center of cosmic diplomacy and quantum exploration. In quiet moments, some claimed they could hear a faint, beautiful music, the cosmic symphony, conducted by the new guardians of reality. Children born on Earth and 1,000 other worlds sometimes spoke of dreams where a kind woman with galaxy eyes showed them the wonders of the multiverse. And somewhere beyond time and space, three beings who were once a family watched over the infinite strands of reality, nurturing, guiding, and protecting the grand cosmic dance of existence. As the final images faded, viewers across the world sat in stunned silence, minds reeling from the epic conclusion. Social media exploded with discussions, theories, and emotional reactions. #Cosmic Symphony and #Aurora's Legacy trended globally. Fans began creating art, music, and even quantum-inspired fashion based on the story. Universities reported a surge in applications for physics and astronomy programs. And in quiet moments, people everywhere looked to the stars with new wonder, dreaming of the infinite possibilities that awaited in the vast cosmic symphony of existence.